Over 30 Christians have been beheaded by the Islamic State Mozambique province, also known as ISMP.
It is hard to process the fact that 2025 have people around the world who are terrorists who are beheading Christians. It is the most horrific thing imaginable. And we've seen this again and again and again. And I think for me, the thing I'm processing is this reality that in America, we live with such freedom, right? We have our debates, we have our issues over the First Amendment, we have our fights, we have our political infighting and our battles. But the freedom that we live with, I think, isolates us from the reality and the understanding that most people around the world are living in utter horror. And most people around the world, most Christians, are living in places where persecution is so dire that you can get beheaded simply for loving Jesus. And so that is convicting to me. It always sort of brings me back to, do I understand the freedom that I have? Do I understand the ability to worship that I have? Do I appreciate that?
50 people have been beheaded and dismembered in gruesome attacks on several villages in northern Mozambique. Attacks took place over the course of several days and were carried out by fighters linked to the Islamic State group. Witnesses told local media that the fighters had driven residents of one village onto a football pitch before murdering them there. For more on this story, let's bring in Zenaida Machado, who is the Angola and Mozambique researcher at Human Rights Watch. Zenaida Machado, thank you so much for speaking to us. First of all, what more can you tell us about these attacks?
What we know so far is that this recent attack and this recent beheading took place in a district called Muidumbi, which is in the coastal area of Cabo Delgado. And Muidumbi has been under attack and has apparently been seized by the insurgents since last week. And that's where the beheadings took place. But it's important to note that those beheadings are not completely new in this conflict that started in October 2017. Beheadings have been used by the insurgents as a weapon of war. And many people have been beheaded in the past 3 years. We don't know the numbers, we don't know the extent of beheadings, and we don't know what particular group they are targeting. But what we know for sure is that as people are able to come out of the areas that they have been stranded for the past months, they are now able also to reach out to us, reach out to authorities, reach out to the local media, and tell the stories of what has been happening in their villages and why they chose Mozambique or Cabo Delgado for that matter. Their alliance to ISIS was a surprise.